How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel Take and Make. I'm glad you're here. In this episode I'm gonna build 2x72 belt grinder designed by Brian House. I bet most of you already heard his name, especially those ones who's building 2x72 grinders themselves. Brian has this beautiful set of plans which you can buy from him for a very fair price. I mean, it's like 50 pages with all the details you need to make this beautiful grinder. So if you never heard of him, go and check it out, his channel and Instagram. I'm gonna link it below. First part we're gonna make is base plate. Okay, let's get our hacksaw and start cutting. No, we're gonna start with cleaning this plate with wire wheel and angle grinder. So one of my tips would be, guys, when you do the hinges, drill holes before you shape them. Because if I would have shaped them first and make them round, that would be very hard for me to clump it in a drill wise. You see I have this gap here. So if it was round, it would be nearly impossible to make it flat. And also when drilling large hole, 3/4 of the inch, clamp this wise down so it's not moving, or it's gonna be jumping like this. So I do have some file work here, but not as bad as I thought. Alright, that took quite a while actually. All the holes drilled in our hinges, so now we're gonna start shaping them. Alright, all 4 hinges done. Especially this one was quite challenging, but guess what? We worked for it. So our next step, we're gonna start working on some tubing. We're gonna give it a vinegar bath as Brian suggests. Don't ask me why I still have my Christmas tree. Okay, all steel is nice and clean, and we're ready to proceed to step number 3, risers. Very good. This side is also very good. Nice. I didn't film grinding those bevels off, because I think it was pretty boring. Okay, now we're gonna pre-assemble it and put everything on this old threaded rod. Nice! That's already starting to look like something. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove that ugly inside seam. Unlike Brian, I don't have pneumatic or mechanical file, but I do have a jar of elbow grease on my shelf. Alrighty, I cleaned both of those seams and even if there wasn't a bit, I wouldn't be able to slide it in. So what I'm gonna do, I made it. Okay, so we're gonna drill and top one hole and we're ready to weld our receiver tubes together. Alright guys, let's talk a little bit about my welder. This is Power Fist 136 amp MIG, but I don't have a bottle with gas for it, so I'm just using Flux Core. I set it on maximum, which gives me 75 amps, but only 20% of the duty cycle, and voltage 17.7. My wire speed is at 4. That's the best adjustments you can make on welder like this to weld thick steel. This is pretty much my first welding project, so I'm a complete noob in this. I know there's gonna be comments that I did it all wrong and it's gonna fall apart. Whatever, go ahead and post it. But for those who have a flux core and you figuring out if you can weld it, yes you can. We're not building a skyscraper. I was preheating each area where I'm gonna put a bit for about 8 minutes with my little torch, and then I was doing one long bit. After 1 minute of straight using, you have to give it time to recharge capacitors, which is approximately 8 to 10 minutes as well. So while you're waiting, you can preheat your piece, something like that. Now we're gonna do hinges. Alright, we're done with welds for now. That took quite a while, but it looks alright. For my skill level anyway. Okay, let's set this thing aside to cool down, and meantime we'll start working on tracking pillar. Okay, our feature grinder cooled off. Let's see if we welded tracking arm good, and is it same plumb or level as we need. On 0 it says 0.53. Now we put it on the pillar. 0.49. 0.51. It's actually pretty good. I'm impressed. Off the camera I drilled and topped this tracking arm, which is gonna go here. Let's go ahead and install that. Haha! Love it! Alrighty, let's set this thing aside and work on our next step. Platen. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Cutting this piece from 1/2 inch thick steel. Alright, dear people, here's what I got. I think it looks awesome. I really dig it. I'm gonna zip off those corners with angle grinder, and we're gonna try to make this curve on a bandsaw. Alright guys, there she is, Platen. I like those curves. Now we get to the fun part. File out the remaining of this metal so we get our 180 degrees. Let's top up the level of elbow grease and give her. Alright guys, I got it. I spent almost 2 hours working on this slot. This is without a doubt was most complicated and time-consuming part for this project. So the next thing we're going to do, we're gonna drill and tap this tooling arm for our platen. So our next step would be making tracking mechanism. I already pre-cut 2 blocks of 1/2 inch steel. One is basically gonna be female, one's male. They're gonna love each other and gonna give us this tracking mechanism. Let's go ahead and cut them out, drill holes and tap them. It's pretty ugly, but it works. I also rounded the corners of this piece. Boom! Let's put it on a grinder. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and install the wheels. We'll install tracking wheel and 2 2-inch wheels on our platen. I got my wheels from TR Maker and he makes amazing stuff. He makes wheels and some other knife making tools. You should go and check him out. I'm gonna leave you link in the description. Thank you YSL for giving me a nice discount on those wheels. I really like him. In order For wheel to spin freely, we need spacers. I couldn't find anything like that in store, so I just made those myself. I'm gonna show you how I did it in a minute. Then we put our wheel, then spacer, another washer, and another washer. And now we can put it on our tracking mechanism. And make it tight a little bit with this fancy monkey wrench. Good. So I got this 7/8 hole saw. Turns out this size works good. And I'm gonna start drilling this piece of plastic, but I'm not gonna go all the way through. I'm gonna drill probably 75% of the thickness. Then I will drill 1/2-inch hole for our bolt to fit nicely, and then I'm gonna go back and finish it. It's not pretty, but it's actually gonna work. So in case you guys have some material laying around in your shop and you couldn't find the spacers exactly 1/2-inch at your store, go ahead, make one. Alright, so the next step we're gonna do Platen Bracket from this angle iron. Almost there. As you see, I don't have a motor which mounts on the face. That would be so easy, just get a template, cut that piece, Bob's your uncle. But here I gotta break my head a little bit. I wanna make it so it's 90 degrees. I have this piece of 2x10 1/4-inch steel, then this 8x8 also 1/4-inch, which is gonna go like this, and have an angle iron inside here will definitely help me to keep everything nice and square. So this motor sitting on this 2x4 is actually close to where it's going to be, and I just simply put level on this platen wheel and on the end of the shaft, and it's almost level, and I can mark my parts where they're gonna be. That's what I'm talking about! Here I marked both plates where to drill holes. Probably a little overkill, but you know, that motor is pretty heavy, so I wanna stay on the safe side. This is finally coming together. Let's put a belt on it. Woo! Oh my god. I'm excited as a little kid, man. I'm gonna have to make some fine tuning, of course. But look, it does truck now. Alright guys, so the next thing we're gonna work on this articulating work rest. And we're gonna start with the fun part of making two of those hinges. I repeat myself again, if you guys gonna cut hinges by yourself too, I strongly recommend drill all the holes while your piece is still square. Alright, got the hinges done. They look a bit ugly because I went with wrong bit, but it will do what we need to do it. So we're gonna hang on to them for now and gonna work on those two pieces to make sure they fit. I also went ahead and drilled and tapped this hole for 3/8 thread for this knob. Alright guys, it's been a few days actually. I was trying to figure out how to connect this motor to VFD, and it's not easy. But I will leave you card and link in the description for the video where I learned how to program this thing. Okay, let's turn it on. Yeah, we got a grinder going here. I'm super excited. I'm really glad I have this grinder now. I think it's a must-have tool in the shop, especially if you're interested in knife making like I am. But not only for that, you can make lots of tasks on this grinder besides the knives. Just a comparison. What a nice upgrade. And again, if you guys in the market for 2x72 grinder but you want to save a lot of money, do it yourself. Buy those plans from Brian House, buy the motor VFD, and you're good to go. If you guys like this video and you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up and consider a subscription to my channel. In my future videos you're gonna see this grinder a lot. I'm not really sure if I want to paint it at all, so for now it's definitely gonna stay like that and I'm gonna think about it. Thanks again, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now!